All right, so to begin your abstract Google drawing, you're going to start in your drive and then you go to New, More, and Google Drawings. All right, I'm just going to label this one abstract drawing. Okay, once it's in your drive, then you're good. It'll be, it'll be saved there. Um, you want to decide what your what your color scheme is going to be. So I'm going to do complementary color scheme. So I'm just going to choose violet and yellow. You could do analogous, complementary, um, monochromatic, which means that it's the same colors. So you just want to pick what you're going to do and then indicate that on your assignment when you're handing this in. So I'm going to choose my background first. So I'm going to right click on my mouse and then I'm going to go to background. And you need to be able to have some areas of gradient. So I'm just going to start with that. And I'm going to choose a blue gradient. Okay. And if you want to, to customize your gradient, you could create something called stops. So you'd have this radial kind of center that's going out from the middle. I can add a stop here. I can do linear. All right, so you can see you can like kind of change where you're, and then I could add another one here. And I can even change the color. So if I want to add like a dark blue, I can do that. I'm going to go back to radial. All right, so that's my background. You need to be able to use shapes. So going to click on here and I'm going to go into my shapes and you can use the call outs, you can use the arrows, you can use the equations. I'm just going to start out with some circles. Okay, and this is kind of like the fill color. If you want to change that, you go up to the fill button and then because I'm doing blue and orange, I'm going to change this to an orange. You could also do the gradients for your shapes. Same thing, I could do a custom. It's going to default to gray, so you just want to change that to the color that you want. So I'm going to choose an orange. I'm going to add a stop and choose darker orange. And then I kind of like the gray in there too, so I'm going to keep that. All right, so you need to have 9 to 10 shapes. If you want to make your outline darker, you can do that, or you can actually have no outline, which I'm going to do for this one. So this is a transparent outline, so you just have the shape with no outline. Another thing that you want to have is a drop shadow. So that is if you have your shape highlighted here, you're going to go to your format options and you can do a drop shadow. And because I'm doing a blue background, I want a dark blue shadow. Bring that out. There you go. And you can kind of see it start to show up. And I want it to be more blurred out. All right, so I have my drop shadow, and then I'm also going to make a reflection. Bring that down a little further. I can enlarge it or shrink it. All right, so I have a shape. I've changed the colors and used gradients. I have created a reflection. The next thing I'm going to do is some line. So I'm going to do my curve line. And I always kind of start on the outside of the edge. You can use scribble if you want. I just kind of like the organization of the curve line better. And then just double click it. And I want to change that color. If it ends up with this kind of long piece that's still attached, just click on the arrow tool and that will get rid of that. So I want to change my line color to dark blue. And I want my line to be behind my shape. So I'm going to click on my shape. I'm going to arrange. I'm going to order. I'm going to have my shape bring forward. and then that puts my line behind there. So you can add things to your drawing, and you can, you know, change the order of things if you think that something looks not correct, or you can, have things come to the front or recede to the back if you want to do that. Another thing that you could do with your shapes is to insert, is I'm going to insert an image, and I'm going to search the web. So I'm going to look for blue patterns. All right, so I'm going to choose a blue pattern that I like because I'm in blue and orange. This one's blue and orange. Pick that one. I'm going to insert it. Okay, and then I'm going to mask it. So if you go to this crop tool and you go to the drop down arrow where it says mask image, I'm going to go to my shapes, and I can change the shape of my pattern. Well, it's too stretched out. I don't want to do that. Let's bring it up a little bit. Slide it by in here. I'm going to bring it all the way down. You don't have to do this, but it's kind of a way to make your shapes more interesting without having to create the design in them. You could just use the design that you find on the internet. So I'm going to bring that, so I'm going to send that to back. And I also want this to be, I want to recolor, transparency. All right, and basically what I would do here is I just keep adding shapes. Like I said, you could do the call outs if you want. Playing around with your gradients. Change your order. Change your lines, but you can start to see how you can really kind of build this up. I'm going to add another line in here. Change my line color. And if you want to change your canvas, your background shape, you could just take this corner and kind of bring it in to crop that a little bit. So once you have this completed, where you have your lines, your shapes, you have some that are gradient, you have some drop shadow, you have some reflection, you're going to go to File, Download, and you can download it as a JPEG or a PNG. So I'm just going to do a PNG. Either are fine. All right, and you'll see this ends up in your downloads folder. Save this. Okay, and then this is the file that you can then upload to Google Classroom. I'm going to just upload it to my drive. New file upload. Art 1 abstract drawing. Okay, and you can see all the edges get cut off. So anything that you had kind of outside of your drawing space in the white area gets cut off, and it kind of neatens it all up. So this will be what you are working on while you are at home.